Well, folks, thank you for taking time for filmfestivals.com. Tell us about your movie at Sundance 2026. It's an amazing film, but the public needs to know something.
So our feature documentary, it's called Birds of War, and it's our love story of Habak and me, of how we met, how we got together, and it's set to the backdrop of the Syrian revolution and the Lebanese revolution between 2011 and 2025.
Habak, what is your view of the film?
So the film, it's it is like, as she says, like it is our love story, but it's about journalism. It's about how people came together, how it's important, like actually to talk to each other, especially now with all the hate around the world on the social media, and people judge other in based on their cover, which is something really bad. And with so yeah.
For sure, yeah, great comments. What about the title? How did you come up with the title? I think it's beautiful and
Thank you.
it's somewhat of a wonderful metaphor, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So Birds of War is the title of the film for two reasons. The first reason is birds, which is a nickname Habak and I use to call each other. So I call him my bird, he calls me my bird. It's that sort of nickname that we have. And also it's a play on word for the Arabic title, because the word love and the word war in Arabic have one letter difference. So love is hub and war is harb. So there's only one letter difference. So it's a play on love birds, war birds in Arabic. And we translated it to English to birds of war.
And what is your feeling about the title? You're comfortable with being called a bird of sorts.
I'm really comfortable with that. Yeah, it's like it's the first personal connection between each other, when we were first in contact, and we get into like our person to start talk about our personal life more and start like caring about each other. It was like the first name we call each other is like bird, and it's birds mean like, it's like it's a kind of freedom, the kind of flying away. It's kind of like no borders,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like it's one of the symbolics of the freedoms.
You know, there's so many scenes that I could ask you about. It's a wonderful film, but I want to ask you about the ending. It's somewhat like the future is about we'll be together if the wars ever stop. But you can't stop war. I guess none of us can, but we can hope the war stops, Janay.
Yeah. Well, the ending of the film is the reality we live in, is that when you live abroad, when you live in exile, when you trying to find a home away from home, you find yourself at some point after a few years torn between who you really are.
Yeah.
So with the fall of the Assad regime, Habak was able to go back to Syria for the first time in 8 years. And with my maturity and awareness of who am I and where do I belong, I want to be more present in Lebanon. And this is the reality of our lives, is he want to be in his home, his original home, and I want to be in my original home too. But we also have our own nest together where we can be together in London. So that's our reality.
Habak, I want to ask you if I could about it's a riveting scene of, pardon me, the boy that is injured after a bombing. And you went over and helped that boy. Tell us how that changed your life or impacted your life.
So as also like it's something in that scene that happened. Like I captured at some point like in my camera, but it was I wasn't like actually assuring that like I'm recording. It's like the camera was recording and I was helping, and that's something not just me. Most of the activists and journalists like who Syrian like we do that. It's not the first time we do that. It's like for us helping is because like we are part of that community. We are part of that I'm not like external journalist. I'm internal journalist. I'm part of these people, and at some point, like you cannot actually just like filming
Separate
just
from
it's
what's
like,
happening.
you know, it's just like if someone like call you for help and you're saying that no, I'm a journalist, I'm filming, that's like my role. No, it's not just that is my role. It's like if I can help, I will help. So that's not the first time it's happened, but it was the last time that happened, like in Syria, and that is like this memory is like really still stuck in my head. Yeah, it is really hard because like you want to help, but at the same time you want to deliver what's happening to out of the world, and uh, that why like I have something I call it like sometimes like a gift, sometimes it's not. It's how like actually you film everything around us, and I film everything around me, and just press recording and how what it's captured is captured. And capturing this moment is what's really important to us because like we are not just capturing this moment like to show the world what's happening in our country. It was like we are documenting our crimes and we are documenting like a big part of our Syrian history.
One more question, if I could get an answer from both of you, please. What do you hope this film at Sundance accomplishes? What do you want the public to get from this love story, war story that you put so much of your time into?
Well, I would like the world to start to look at each other with compassion and empathy and love rather than judgment and what politics wants us to believe. We are all human beings. We all want to love and be loved. We all want to be understood and to understand people. And I think that's the message of the film is how do we learn to live together in this world that's trying to separate us.
And Habak, what is your
Yeah,
hope for the movie? What do you want the public to walk out of the theater? They see this film, this love story, this war story. What do you want them to carry out?
I want them like to carry out that is like how we can like actually it's a myth of like how we can live together despite our difference, despite our like religion, despite our everything, because like especially me and Janay, like we are from very different background, very different religion, and we are together. We are like a rock to each other. Like we can. It is like it is something I never thought was gonna happen in my life, but it happened because like of our we talk to each other, we are understanding each other, and we love each other.
Well, thank you both, and good luck at the film festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get to interrupt.
That's okay.